He did everything right. Fit, faithful, provider, and she still cheated. Here's what he learned so you don't end up blindsided like him. We're going live.
No.
We'll do it live.
This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host, Paul Bauer.
It's Wednesday. Let's talk about cheating women today. Who doesn't love a great cheating wife story, guys? Am I right? Smash that like button for a cheating wife story. Well, I found a post in the Married Red Pill subreddit from last year, actually, about a guy telling a story of his wife cheating and how it led to divorce. But it taught him a lot about women and relationships. So let me drop a link to that story here in the chat so you guys can take a look at it. For you guys watching live on YouTube and Facebook right now, you guys can get that link. If you guys are watching on TikTok, you'll have to head on over to my YouTube channel to get that. While you check that out, if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Paul Bauer, and I help men level up and get better with women. And just to give you a Cliff's Notes of what this guy wrote about, imagine being a fit, faithful, high-earning husband and father, doing everything that you were taught to do, and still getting blindsided by your wife's infidelity. No warning, just a tearful confession. 3 years after she slept with another man. That's right. He found out about it afterwards while on a work trip. A drinking buddy of his wife showed up at his house, and he was alerted to it by his Ring camera notification. The Ring camera app on his phone notified him that someone was approaching the house. He looked at it, and it was his wife's drinking buddy, right? A female drinking buddy. And apparently that drinking buddy was there to confront his wife about sleeping with her husband, right? And he found out about it because his wife confessed not long after, right? Well, this guy thought he was doing it all right, providing, protecting, involved with his kids, but the truth hit him like a freight train. Being a good guy doesn't make you immune, right? Being married in general does not create a buffer to the sexual marketplace. You understand? It actually made him blind to the red flags, disrespect, sexless nights, and her girls' nights out that turned into full-blown betrayal. And the worst of all, he saw it coming. He saw the whole thing coming, but didn't know how to stop it. This man's hope was that you can all learn from his mistakes. So today I'm breaking down the top 10 hard lessons this man learned, the kind of truths that save other men from making the same soul-crushing mistakes. If you're married, dating, or just want to make sure that this never happens to you, don't miss a single one, because buried in his pain are the lessons most men never hear till it's too late. Guys, before you get into it, do be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications. I do have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you could watch live on YouTube, all the better. You guys, sometimes I have to cut stuff out after the fact. Like, you know, I'll play a clip or something, and the copyright people will come and say, hey, you can't do that. And so I have to cut it out after the fact. If you watch it live, you can see it, right? You also can see the stuff I drop in the chat. You can participate in the show. I can bring your comments up on the screen. It's all fun. But if you guys can't watch it live, that's cool. You can watch the replay afterwards on YouTube, or you can listen to it on Spotify and iTunes. I'm on all the good platforms. And please sound off in the live chat today, right? And if you can't, again, watch live, sound off in the chat below during the replay. That's cool too. Even if you're listening or watching on Spotify, sound off in the chat, all right? If you guys are watching on TikTok right now, sound off in the chat too. And then, guys, if you find value in any of these episodes, do consider sending a super chat. That helps support the show probably more than anything else, all right? All right, so the first lesson we can learn from this story, and I'm not going to read it to you. I dropped the link to it in the chat there. But the first thing that we can learn is that being a good husband and father doesn't buy you attraction, right? We're all taught to be providers and good dads, but that doesn't blow her skirt up, right? Just because you provide, stay fit, and check all the traditional boxes doesn't mean your wife will remain attached to you, right? Or attracted to you. Attraction is not a transactional reward for good behavior. It's emotional, it's primal, right? You could be a fit guy and still be unattractive to her because of your behavior. That's why in the red pill space, we say be attractive, don't be unattractive, right? Be attractive. He's got it on lock. He's in shape. He's fit. He dresses well. But the don't be unattractive is stuff like you're being needy. You're not setting the tone and leading in the relationship. You're not being assertive. You're not being decisive. All those types of things, right? She's able to get you up in your emotions. You get pissed off and lose your cool with her. Like, that's not attractive behavior, right? And he had to learn this the hard way. Because she started pulling away from him and he started seeing the signs. She started hanging out with her 304 friends and she ended up cheating on him, right? Not only is he paying the price for not being able to set those boundaries, like, hey, you're not going out with your single 304 friends. His kids are suffering too, because that destroyed the family unit. His wife couldn't control herself enough to help keep the family together. Her hypergamous urges led her astray, right? The second thing that we can learn from this man's story is a lack of boundaries lead to disrespect. One of the great Ryan Stone posts, he wrote a whole series of this on his blog. If you go to ryanstone.com, it's there still. Talking about how you can't you can't properly vet women, right? Because we talk in the space. Oh, you got to vet them, right? You got to make sure she's a good wife, right? She's going to be good wife material. And I agree to that to an extent, right? The thing is that people in general, not just women, but people in general are on their best behavior for the first 3 months to first 6 months to a year of a relationship. They're on their best behavior. So if you're looking for her to like show all the red flags and show who she really is, and you're like, but you're that guy who's like rushing for a white picket fence and you just have like rings in your closet to just hand out to women or something. There's guys like that, right? Guys who are just like, oh, I want to marry this girl. And they're trying to really push for that. That's unattractive behavior, by the way. But for the first 6 months to a year, it's the honeymoon phase. You don't really know who she really is for the first 6 months to a year. Then even after that, that's really when like her true character is going to come out. Well, when her true character comes out and some of that's crappy behavior, the only way you can handle that is by being able to set boundaries and seeing if she will respect your boundaries. Right? Some of these women won't respect your boundaries. And before you go locking her down, putting a ring on it, you need to really evaluate, like, do I want to bring this kind of person in my life? Right? But the thing is, if you don't set boundaries and set the frame and be the kind of guy where she wants to respect those boundaries, she's going to start walking all over you. This is, all a part of the betaization process, right? So his wife gradually escalated her behavior because there were no hard boundaries set. She tested him repeatedly and he failed to stand up for his values early on. And this reinforced her contempt and destroyed the frame of the relationship, right? So she was testing him. Hey, will this guy check me? Will this guy say, hey, I cannot be in a relationship with a woman that goes out with her single 304 friends, right? Go ahead and do it, but we're done. If she truly valued the relationship, she would respect that boundary. Be like, you know what? You're right. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to blow up the family for this. But he wouldn't even do that. She loses respect. And she's like, oh, well, screw him then. And then goes off and it does that. Dr. Robert Glover says it really well in Dating Essentials for Men. He said this is one of the things he learned after his second marriage, I think. it's interesting. A lot of guys look at men in the space, prominent guys in the space, and they're like, oh, I'm not going to take advice from a guy who got divorced or whatever. It's like, yeah, but that teaches you something. You know, like people that have had perfect relationships where it's been effortless and they haven't even tried. They don't learn anything. They don't know. You know, they don't know what it takes, right? It's just oh yeah, everything just works right. I mean, to just be like me. It's like no, we learned some stuff. Anyway, one of the things that Robert Glover learned, actually in marriage counseling, which is funny because he was a licensed marriage therapist for years, was that his wife flat out told him in marriage counseling, if you cannot stand up to me, how I can't trust you to stand up for me. Right? That's women's, like, you know, emotional feelings. That's how they think, you know. And so they'll test you. Hey, will he push back on me? Will he set a boundary? And if you don't do it, she loses respect. She walks all over you, and then she feels justified for doing it. You understand? So disrespect is a major red flag, not just a phase. That's the third thing that we can learn from it. So her disrespect wasn't just her being moody or needing space. It was a sign of crumbling attraction and the precursor to infidelity. Many men rationalize this behavior as just a rough patch when it's often something deeper. Men freaking delude themselves. We talk about how women in the space are delusional, right? Men will see all this stuff happening right before their eyes. They will tell themselves stuff to make themselves feel better about the situation, knowing perfectly well that the signs are there. The signs are there. Now's the time to turn things around, but you're just hoping it's just a rough patch and things will work out itself. They won't unless you take some action. But if you don't take action, it's going to lead to where this led. Right? Her cheating on you and then them getting a divorce. Right? While you're chewing on that, I'm having fun today. I was telling Nurse Chick about this. When I'm getting ready for these episodes, I get an idea for what I want. And then I have my my writers write it up, and they write up like initial show notes. And that's how we schedule out the show. But when I was looking at the show notes last night, I was like, what? I don't want to talk about any of this stuff. I had to rewrite this all from scratch last night. Anyway, I'm having fun with it now, though. I think we got what I wanted to talk about. While you guys are chewing on that, do follow me on social media. The links are in the description. I'm on all the good platforms. If you guys are following me on TikTok right now, follow me on Instagram because TikTok sucks. TikTok buries me, man. But do that because I get banned periodically. And speaking of being banned, and if you like my content, follow me other places. Get on the email list too. That way, if I get banned somewhere, I can email you and say, hey, I got banned. And to get on the email list, I'm gonna bribe you a little bit. I'm gonna give you a free ebook called She's Made You Weak. It talks about the betatization process. It's a 5-step process that causes women's attraction to erode over time. And if you don't know about it, it's going to kill your relationship. And she doesn't even know she's doing it. Okay. And then when you sign up for that, I'll also give you some free stickers as well. So go to list.comeonmanpod.com for that and get the free ebook. And then guys, if you really want to take some action here, start turning the dynamic of your relationship around, get my book, the full book. It's right here. It's not just like a 60-page grifter book. It's a legit book. All right. In hardcover. Get Her to Fuck You Again. It's available on Amazon and Audible. Go to books.comeonmanpod.com. You'll find it there. Let me play a commercial for that. Then we'll get back to the topic at hand today. Where is it? Here it is.
Are you tired of the dead bedroom? Wondering what happened to the passion, the connection, and the spark? Well, here's your answer. Introducing Get Her to Fuck You Again, a red pill guide to fix a dead bedroom. Now on Amazon. This isn't about manipulation or tricks. It's about real strategies that work. If your wife has stopped being intimate with you, it's not because the love is gone. It's because the attraction is gone. And that's fixable. This book will teach you the skills to lead your marriage, rebuild your confidence, and become the man she can't stop thinking about. 3 reasons to get this book. 1. It breaks the cycle. You'll learn how to stop doing the same things that are killing her attraction and start doing the things that reignite it. 2. It's practical and proven. With clear, actionable steps, you'll build yourself into the man you were always meant to be. 3. It works for men like you. Paul Bauer has helped hundreds of men just like you fix their dead bedrooms. And now, it's your turn. Don't let another day go by feeling frustrated and disconnected. Go to Amazon right now and buy Get Her to Fuck You Again. Read it, apply it, and watch your marriage transform. The connection isn't gone forever. You just need the roadmap to get it back. And this book is it.
Guys, if you've been thinking about getting the book and you just haven't pulled the trigger yet because you're like, I don't know if this is right for me. In the chat right now, I'm dropping the link. If you go to that link, you can get the first 3 chapters of the book for free. All you got to do is just put $0 and hit I want this and check out. You get the first 3 chapters free. See if the book resonates with you. Okay, check that out. All right, where are we at here? We gotta put this down here. Boop. Okay, there we go. All right. The 4th thing we can learn from this guy's story is you can't negotiate desire, right? You cannot negotiate desire. She's either in love with you or she's not, right? You can't trade doing chores. You can't trade doing nice gestures for her. You can't trade taking her out for dinner for attraction. Right? She's got attraction is primal, right? She's got to feel it. If she doesn't feel it, right? You can't force it, right? So he tried to talk guilt and logic his way back into sex and connection, which is just a classic mistake. You can't do that. A lot of guys try to do that, right? Guys in a dead bedroom situation, when you ask them, hey, what have you tried to do to fix it? Because the standard advice is communication is the key to a healthy relationship. Guys will try to talk about it. Oh, I've had a conversation with her and tell her how it makes me feel. Well, all you're doing is you're trying to guilt her into having sex with you. It doesn't work. She doesn't want to have sex with you more because she feels guilty. In fact, now she feels even like less attracted to you because now you sound like a whining little bitch. Okay. It doesn't work, right? You can't argue or explain your way into being desired. Desired must be sparked, not earned through virtue signaling or begging or telling her how it makes you feel. Like none of that will work. All right. You have to become an attractive guy that she wants to have sex with. You have to, that requires action, right? Passive aggression is not leadership, is something that we can learn from this article. Passive aggression is not leadership. Okay. So he admitted in the story that he was sulking and complaining about the sexless marriage and her going out and partying all the time with her single 304 friends. Right. So he would complain about it or make offhand comments about it. That's not setting boundaries. You know, you're trying to speak to her in subtext. She doesn't care. That's not how a masculine leader of a relationship operates. Okay. It's weak. It's unattractive behavior. Leadership means calmly enforcing standards, not acting like a resentful child. Ooh, that one hurt. That one hurt. How many of you have been in that spot? I have. Like, I'm not shitting on you guys. Like, I've been in this spot. That's how I know, like, I know my mistakes from the past and what I've learned from it. And I operate differently in my relationship with Nurse Chick. It's because I learned stuff like this. This was stuff that my dad does. This is the stuff that my dad taught me growing up. And we tend to learn our relationship habits from our parents, even if it's ineffective. You know what I mean? So you need to learn how to be more direct, how to be more assertive, how to enforce boundaries, okay? Not make offhand comments and hope she just gets it. You're acting like a woman if you're doing that. Number 6, self-improvement must be for you, not to win her back. That's the hardest thing for guys to learn, right? Because they're often drawn to this space They're drawn to books like mine to get her to fuck you again. They're drawn to content like this because they've noticed something's off in their relationship and they're trying to do something to make her change, right? They're hoping that if they do X, Y, and Z, like a paint by numbers, system, dancing monkey system, that she's going to change her behavior. And if you have that mentality, it's not going to work. It's not going to work because you're not going to be congruent. You're doing it as a covert contract, essentially, right? And then when she doesn't behave the way you expect her to behave, now you start getting resentful and your whole facade crumbles. When you start getting resentful, you'll start falling back on the passive aggression and stuff like that. So you've got to let go of all attachment to outcome. You've got to be like, look, I've clearly let myself go. I'm clearly not the best version of myself. I need to fix me. I'm just going to worry about fixing me and being the best version of myself. I'm going to try to work on being attractive and not being unattractive, and not even pay attention to how your wife's reacting to this stuff. You want to get to a place where you're not even paying attention to what she's doing. Like at first you're going to, be watchful. Like, oh, is she coming around? Is she coming around? Now, one great way of doing this, and I learned this on the dating circuit, right, is treat it like a science experiment. Treat it like a science experiment. Because if a scientist, a good scientist, I should say, a lot of scientists are human after all, right? But a good scientist will be emotionally detached from the project, and he's just collecting data. He's got a hypothesis. He's testing the hypothesis, right? If it doesn't, like if it stands, if the hypothesis stands, you raise it to a theory, right? Science. So the same thing goes with your wife. You just want to be collecting data. How is she responding today, right? And do however she's responding without judgment. Okay, just keep following the curriculum. Keep following the process. She's either getting on board or she doesn't, right? But some other data samples that you are going to want to take are if you're truly trying to be a more attractive guy, you're going to be working on your social skills. You're going to be going out in town. You're going to be talking to strangers. You're going to be striking up conversations with people. Do other people at the supermarket, complete strangers, like, are they disgusted by you too? Right? Do you repulse strangers, or are they generally receptive to you? Okay, cool. That's good data points, right? Are the women that you interact with, are they generally receptive and like smiling and laughing at your jokes and stuff like that? Do other people seem to like you? Okay, well, cool. Then some of this stuff is working, right? That's good data. That's good data, right? But you want to let go of all that kind of stuff and work on being the best version of yourself. Some of the data sets are, how am I operating at work now? Like, am I getting more ambitious? Am I going for that next level now? Are my, stuff like that, right? It's not all about your wife. It's a whole entire process of working on yourself and putting yourself first and making yourself your own mental point of origin, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So it's all about you. You got to let go of the results. And the funny thing is once you have that detachment, she tends to come back around. It's almost like law of attraction, right? It's almost like a law of attraction thing where the more you focus on trying to fix her, the less chance you have of fixing her. But when you let go, right, you just sort of trust the process and let go, she comes back around on her own because you start creating that attractive energy again, right? Anyway, he got in the trap of the dancing monkey self-improvement strategy, changing himself to get a result from her. And that never works, right? Self-improvement's for you. And if others respond positively, great. If not, you still win. You still win, right? All right. While you guys are thinking about that, consider getting in my beer club, guys. beer.comeonmanpod.com. It's a perfect place if you're working on this stuff, right? You got the book. You got the accompanying workbook. You want to start working on this stuff with other guys who have gone through it. Beer club's probably the next logical step, right? It's a good group of guys. We have over 50 guys in there. They're in there swapping notes all the time. We have guys working on the relationship. We have guys who are getting over a divorce. We have guys that are on the dating circuit right now. We have guys in there that are working on their fitness. We have a separate subgroup just for fitness accountability. If that's you and you're trying to work on that stuff, you need someone to hold you accountable, get in Beer Club, right? It's $10 a month, all right? But the value of it is just like anything else. You'll get value if you put value in, if you do the work. If you go in there and just lurk in there, you might not find some value in it, and don't waste your money, okay? And then, guys, if you've read the books and you're doing the workbook and you still are not quite sure of how to apply this stuff in your current situation, book a free call with me, okay? Go to call.fixdeadbedrooms.com with me, because working with me might be right for you, because I can show you how everything that you're learning with the book and the workbook and stuff like that applies to your specific situation. All right. Number 7, the 7th thing we can work. It might be a short episode today, but that's cool. I've got a lot of stuff to do. Number 7, you must sometimes stand up to the people you love. You must sometimes stand up to the people that you love. This is where boundaries come in. A lot of guys were raised to be nice guys. Our culture raises us to be nice guys. And it's been like that since the end of World War II, right? We've been on a steady decline since the end of World War II, where we have generations and generations of nice guys who are trying not to rock the boat. We're trying to keep our wives happy at all costs. And that means, well, I'm going to pick my battles. I'm not going to, this really bothers me, but I'm just going to internalize it and I'm not going to stand up for it. You know what I mean? And we end up being pushovers. She loses respect for us and then she walks all over us and then divorces us or cheats on us, right? Or both. So this is one of the most powerful realizations this man had. We're taught to be kind, accommodating, and not rock the boat. But in adult relationships, sometimes the most loving thing you could do is say no and hold the line. And she wants you to say no. She wants you to do that. She wants you to be the leader in the relationship. And when you're not able to do that, she doesn't feel safe and secure in the relationship. You have not created any kind of structure where she can feel safe and secure in the relationship. And she's going to just slowly lose that respect for you, and that attraction is going to die. Number 8, her friends matter more than you think. Her friends matter more than you think. This is why it's not crazy or controlling or misogynistic to set some boundaries around who your wife can hang out with. It's not even a bad idea to have some boundaries for yourself on who you hang out with either. You know what I mean? One of the things that I've told Nurse Chick in the past is I highly recommend that she goes out and hangs out with female friends, right? But I told her that, you know, and we've had discussions about this, as long as they're in committed, healthy, loving relationships, because those will be good influences on her and she'll be a good influence on them. But she goes out and hangs out with her slooty sloot nurse 304 friends, right? The single 304 nurse friends that she has, right? Some of her work colleagues. She's going to end up being a slooty sloot nurse, right? Like that's what's going to happen. And it's going to kill our relationship. It's good to be able to keep an eye on the company that she keeps outside of the relationship. And if you have a problem with certain people that she hangs out with, don't be afraid to tell her, hey, I'm not cool with you hanging out with that person. I'm not cool with it. You know, that person, their life sucks. They're into drugs, like whatever it is, right? You are the company you keep. If she surrounds herself with trashy, impulsive people with low standards, odds are she'll begin acting like them or already is. All right. He let those people into his home and around his kids, and he ended up paying the price. She ended up sleeping with one of her drinking buddies' husbands. Right? She ended up doing that. They say that we're the product of the 5 people we hang around with the most, right? And that it goes the same thing for you too. If you're hanging around with like 5 losers that all they do is drink beer and smoke weed all day, and they are all broke, and they've got overdue bills and stuff like that, you're gonna be the sixth guy. You're gonna be the sixth guy who's doing that stuff, right? You're gonna be drunk all the time. You're gonna be doing drugs all the time. You're not gonna be able to pay the bills. You're gonna get fired from your work. Things are gonna get behind. You are the product of the 5 people you hang around with the most. Well, the same thing goes with your wife or your girlfriend. If she's hanging around with all of her slooty sloot partying 304 friends, she's going to be the 6th one, right? That's why it's good for guys to get beer club. It's a group of guys who are specifically there to level up in life, right? If you want to level up in life, hang out with other guys that are doing it, right? Her story was a lie, and you were the last to know. Women are really good at hiding infidelity and cheating. Women are really good at it. Women are better at it than men are. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. If you tally 100 dudes who cheated on their wives, you'll find that out of those 100, a vast majority of those guys will say, yeah, it was eating at me inside. I couldn't hold it in anymore. I just felt so guilty. I had to come clean about it, and, or if they didn't come clean about it, they've still felt really guilty about it, and it never happened again. And they're like, it was a mistake. I shouldn't have done it. Right. You ask a woman who's cheated, if you ask 100 women who have cheated on their husbands or boyfriends, they'll blame him. Oh, it's always him. He didn't do this for me. He wasn't the leader in the relationship. He wasn't, taking me on dates or what. Like it's all his fault, and he made me do it. Look at what you made me do. Men and women are completely different about that, right? And then they justify it to themselves. So to them, in their mind, they're not even cheating. They're not even cheating. It's like, oh, well, of course I did this. They say that women, we say in the space that women are like cats and men are like dogs, and on the dating circuit, you'll find that that's absolutely true, right? Like men we tend to be more loyal. We tend to take a lot of crap, and we still love you for it. All that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like if you tell a dog to sit, we'll sit, right? A woman is like a cat. She comes and goes as she pleases. And if you chase her, she'll run away. And if you ignore her, she'll sit on your lap and show you her butthole, right? Well, another thing that women are like cats about is you never see a cat crapping, do you? You never see a cat crapping. It just shows up somewhere, right? And usually it's buried. You usually don't notice it. The only reason why you notice it is because you have a cat box. But if you see a cat outside, you never find cat shit anywhere. It's completely buried. Right? And you never see them doing it, and they act like they don't do it. That's women when it comes to cheating too, right? They hide it really well. So she kept her infidelity hidden for 3 years and only confessed after being confronted by someone else. She would have taken that to her grave. She would have continued her bad behavior. She would have taken it to her grave. But that chick showed up at her house, confronted her about it, and he saw it on the ring light. She couldn't hide it anymore. But he was the last to know. If you read the article, people in her family knew about it. People in her friend circles all knew about it. He was the last one to know 3 years later. You're always going to be the last one to know about it, right? So she kept her infidelity hidden for 3 years and only confessed after being confronted by someone else. This shows how deep betrayal could go and how deluded a man could be if he chooses to ignore his gut. Right? Your gut knows something's off. Something's off. All of a sudden, she's always home. She's always home. And then now all of a sudden her work wants her to go on work trips all of a sudden. Right? What was the last, now all of a sudden you're going on work trips for the weekend? You're going on a work trip for the weekend. No, you're not. No, you're not. One of my clients, near the end of the program, it was interesting. He was making really good progress too. And then out of nowhere, like near the end of the program, he's like, yeah, my wife got invited to a birthday party at to celebrate her male coworker's birthday at his house. He was having a birthday party, and when he asked, oh, okay, cool, so I'm coming along to that, she was like, oh, no one else is bringing their spouse. You don't think that's a little suspicious? You don't think that's a little suspicious? She's going to a male coworker's house on a Saturday to celebrate his birthday, and oh yeah, no one's bringing their spouse, so no, it's just going to be me. You think there's going to be really a party there, or it's just going to be a party at 2? A naked party at 2. What do you think? What do you think? Go with your gut, right? And the last one here, yeah, this is a short episode, guys. Last one here, divorce can be a wake-up call and a new beginning. It can be. Okay. He didn't wallow in misery. Once he accepted reality, he took action. While divorce sucks, he used it to level up his life, reconnect his kids, and rebuild on solid ground. Sometimes the death of a marriage is the birth of the man. And I think he made the right choice, right? Yes, I do work with guys in dead bedroom situations. Yes, I try to save marriages, but I don't work with everybody. I don't work with every situation. I don't like working with guys whose wives are knowingly cheating on them. Right? I mean, if they really want to work with me, okay. Okay, we could try turning this around. But the truth is, I don't really recommend guys stay in a toxic situation like that. If she's cheating on you, women's hypergamous nature is a little bit different from guys' nature. We have a polygamous nature, right? So we want to have sex with every available chick out there. That's our drive. So cheating for us really can be a meaningless act, right? You can go just for the variety. It really means nothing, and you're still in love with your wife, right? Mentally, guys are more capable of doing that. In fact, if you polled 100 guys, that's the situation. They had an opportunity, they took it, they regret it, they still love their wives. Women, on the other hand, don't typically put themselves in a situation where cheating can happen if they haven't fallen out of love with you, and if they're not looking for a better option. And that's why if you poll 100 women, something like 80% of them will be in love with the guy that they're cheating on their husband with. They've lost love for their husband. Like, women really aren't capable of truly loving more than one guy at a time. They're just not. And it's their hypergamous nature looking for their best possible option. And if you're not it, like, they'll be happy to use you for your money, but they're in love with the guy that they're fucking. Right? So if that's your situation, the relationship's over. It really is. And now, yeah, I talk about the consequences of divorce, but if you read my book, I talk about how most men, when they go through a divorce process, they're the ones that are on the defensive. They're the ones that get blindsided by it. They think that everything will work out on its own, and then she ends up filing. And they're on the defensive, and they lose everything, right? If you get to this place where this man got to, now you can be more strategic about it. Now you can work with an attorney. You can be on the offense. You can tell them about, hey, this is the outcome I want. How do we get there? Right? Now, your outcome might not work out for you, right? There's certain laws, like, for instance, Colorado. If the person who earns less money wants alimony, they get alimony. It's a formula here, right? The only way to get out of alimony here is if you have a prenup that protects you from it before the marriage, and if they decline it. That's it. If you don't have either of those things and they want it, they're getting it. So then your only solution there is to try to negotiate them down, right? So you need to talk to your attorney about this sort of thing and be on the offensive. Say, hey, I realize I'm not getting out of this unscathed. How can I have this is my ideal situation. How can I get the closest there? Because most attorneys are lazy as fuck, right? They have like boilerplates for everything. But if you say, no, I don't want your boilerplate. I want this outcome. How do we get the closest to this as possible? Now your attorney can customize a strategy on how to operate that way. And now you're on the offensive. It's going to suck less. It's not going to be suck less. It's going to suck less though. But you can learn a valuable lesson from that situation and come out better on the other side. My next book is coming out here in June. It's called Forget That Bitch. It's all about, you've gotten to this process, you've gotten to this situation. Now you're divorced and you still want her back though, for whatever reason, but it's like how to move on from that. That's what that book's all about. It even talks about how to get her back, right? You guys are going to love that book when it comes out, especially if you're dealing with a breakup of some kind, or you're dealing with a divorce of some kind. You guys are going to love that book. All right. That was the top 10 things we can learn from that guy's article. Again, let me drop a link to that in the chat here for you guys that showed up a little bit late to class. This guy wrote a field report in the Married Red Pill last year in August. And this is what he learned from that whole situation. So we went through the top 10 things that he wanted other men to learn from that as well. All right. All right. That's all we got for this episode. Let's see here. I don't see any super chats. We'll just go ahead and wrap this up here. Guys, tune into the podcast on Friday. That should be a fun one. I'm going to show you some NLP techniques to get your girl to want to be in your frame. She's going to naturally be in your frame with some of these NLP techniques. If you guys didn't know, I am a certified master NLP practitioner. And so for Frame Friday, I'm going to talk about subtle subconscious techniques you can do to get her operating in your frame. Okay. So that should be a fun one. She'll want to follow your lead and she won't even know why. So set your reminders for that now. Otherwise, guys, do like, subscribe, hit those notifications. I do have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday without fail here on YouTube. And then those go up on Spotify and iTunes after the fact, if you guys prefer listening to that in your car or something like that. Thanks for everyone that sounded off in the chat today. There's a whole bunch of people in there. A lot of people watching today. This had a good thumbnail and a good title. Oh, man. No super chats. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Never mind. John Egan just dropped in here. $10. Yep. I was late to class. Don't want to totally disappoint. All right. I'm going to give him the, I'm going to bump him up to I'm going to give him the shaking boobs video for this one.
Thank you for the super chats. Boobies bouncing, can't stop that. From the east to the west, you are the best. Keep those chats coming in, let's do it all again.
And demonetized. All right. Guys, follow me on social media. The links are in the description. Get on the email list.comeonmanpod.com and get the ebook, She's Made You Weak. I'm also, because this is the bundle, right? This gives you the stickers. It gives you the ebook. It also gives you 20 dating app openers if you guys are on the dating circuit. I'm also going to make available the first 3 chapters of Get Her to Fuck You Again on that. If you haven't signed up for that, just wait like 30 minutes after the show and I'll have that uploaded too. I also emailed it out to the email list last night if you guys haven't gotten it. Guys, do get my 3 books. I have 3 of them available. Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18 is a handbook for life. It takes you through the whole dating circuit, how to be successful in dating. So if you don't have a girl right now to cheat on you, I'll show you how to get one. And Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18. The Essential Skills of a Masculine Presence Psychology Paradigm is all about frame and rewiring your subconscious mind to have more of a dominant masculine presence in your relationships and in life in general. And then Get Her to Fuck You Again is all about how to fix a broken relationship and how to get your wife enthusiastically wanting to fuck you again. Links in the bio for all that kind of stuff, or go to books.comeonmanpod.com. They're available on Amazon and Audible. Get in Beer Club, beer.comeonmanpod.com. It's a wonderful group of guys. They're all working to level up in this. And if you want to work on yourself and you want to be held accountable, Beer Club's a perfect place for that. And it's affordable. It's easily accessible to everybody. And then if you guys want to work with me one-on-one, go to call.fixdeadbedrooms.com and book a call with me there. That's all we got. Short episode today. We will see you on Friday.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. Now, go out and get it.